Busy 24 hours in Washington Commander land as Washington just brought in a future first ballot Hall of Fame edge rusher in the fold and signed its final of its 2025 draft class. Trey Amos finally gets his deal done as rookies report for camp tomorrow. Let's talk about it all. Let's get active. What it do and what's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. Today is Thursday, July 17th, and Washington started making news last night. We were live on the Commanders Kings channel, me, Ed Oliver, Rico, and Louis T. When it happened, we touched on this topic a little bit, but Washington has brought in some edge help. The conversation that has lasted all the way through the offseason and the final pressing days before training camp starts. Von Miller, 129 and a half sack, 36-year-old Von Miller has been added to the fold in an edge room that's probably going to be headed by Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong. Von Miller is now your hired gun to go get the quarterback. Your mercenary, your pin your ears down, go get the quarterback on passing downs and situations guy on third down. All 6 of the sacks that he got last year for the Buffalo Bills occurred on third or fourth down. So you just got 36-year-old, one of the best edge rushers in the history of the game, Dante Fowler Jr. He's going to play the Dante Fowler role. We don't need Von Miller to stop the run. We don't need him to be an enforcer. We don't need him to play 40% of the snaps, 45% of the snaps, or even 50% of the snaps. He played 34.5% of the snaps in Buffalo last year and still came away with 6 sacks. We don't need him to necessarily replicate what Dante Fowler Jr. did last year. But I will tell you this, Von Miller, even at his big age, still is one of the bendiest players in the NFL. There are still not many people in the league that bend that corner like Von Miller does. When you watch him play, his last couple sacks, he's throwing tackles down still. He still has he got that OG old man father strength, and he's still fast as hell, and he's still really tight off the corner. All I need Von Miller to do is create sacks for other people, create pressure, and give me a handful of sacks in 2025. This is the world we are living in right now. We're in a world where guys are ring chasing in DC. You know what this Von Miller signing tells me? He wants one more crack at a Super Bowl ring before he retires. He is ring chasing in DC like he ring chased when he got ring number 2 with the Los Angeles Rams when Matthew Stafford and company brought him in. Everybody's going to sit here and talk about retirement homes and AARP commanders like Bobby Wagner, also a future first ballot Hall of Famer, wasn't an all-pro last year. Like Zach Ertz didn't have 700 yards and 7 catches, and in his last showing versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship, like he ain't have 11 catches for 100 yards and like, what are we talking about? We're gonna act like the older players Washington have aren't demons. That's what we're gonna do, just to tout some bold-faced graphic on the internet about how old the team is. You know who's old? A lot of the teams that win Super Bowls. The crux of the team and the face of the team is young. We have a lot of ascending young players on this roster. But you know what's good for young players? Some of the best ever at their positions leading the way. Von Miller don't got to lead shit here. Bobby Wagner's still the starting Mike. Zach Ertz is still the starting tight end. Von Miller don't need to start. Von Miller is going to be your rotational pass rusher. Do y'all remember in 2020, that stupid ass COVID season where we watched football games played without a live audience and they had cardboard cutouts and Zoom faces on the stands. Like, yeah, that year. We had rookie Chase Young, who was a demon at the time. Across from him, we had Montez Sweat. And what that did was that phased out all-time sack leader Ryan Kerrigan, who will currently be coaching Von Miller here. Wild, right? So same draft class. One's on our coaching staff. One is still ring chasing in the Lord's year of 2025. But let me stay on topic. Ryan Kerrigan became our situational pass rusher that year. Sweat and Young were getting the lion's share of the snaps at edge. Ryan Kerrigan's coming in on passing downs, and he had a very productive season. In comes Von Miller. The difference between him and Kerrigan is even at this big age, he still has a high enough motor, phenomenal bend, and can still get to the quarterback. No sacks the year before, 6-sack year, but we're talking 9.5 and 8 the 2 years before that. We did not bring him in on a big money deal. We're bringing him in on a 1-year deal. I don't know the parameters or the structure or framework of this contract yet, but it's probably going to be some shit like a year, $7 million with incentives and bonuses that can increase it to around $9 or $10 million a year. That's not money at all. That is pennies. That is cheap change for a surefire first ballot Hall of Fame player the second he retires. So put some respect when you talk about the older players on the Commanders, because Zach Ertz has the 5th most catches in history for a tight end. Bobby Wagner, top 4 linebacker in the history of the game. And Von Miller is one of the greatest edge rushers in the history of the game and top 3 in the last 15 years. Easy. So it's not just any signing. It's definitely a significant signing. He ring chasing. Washington has aspirations. We would not be bringing in these culture-setting veterans and these older players if we didn't think with the quarterback and roster we've already assembled in 1.5 years of Adam Peter. They already think this thing is ready to go. And when you have a quarterback as special and as transcendent as Jaden Daniels, you have to do everything you can to maximize your title window during his rookie contract before you have to give him $75 million a year. Welcome to the Washington Commanders, Von Miller. Allegedly, he will be wearing number 24 here, last worn by Michael Davis. And before that, I believe Antonio Gibson, because Casimir Allen and I believe Fentrell Cypress are the 2 players that will be dual wielding that number in the preseason, but neither player will probably be on the final roster. Von posted one of the nastiest jersey swaps I've seen in a minute. I like what you were trying to do, and you were paying homage to your boy Champ Bailey, but it's going to be cool to see the end of the career for a guy like Von Miller. One of my favorite players. He was number 2 in that draft right behind Cam Newton. You remember what he did to Cam Newton in that Super Bowl. I know that was way back around yonder, but he still got some game left in him. Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong will be the first 2 edges out on the field, but passing down situations, big game situations, playoff situations, we need a stop. That's going to be the guy on the roster to go get it done, because even at 36 years old, nobody on this fucking roster has a get off, has been, and can hunt a quarterback like our new hired gun, Von Miller. Welcome to Washington, D.C. No more I need to say about it. We don't need to be long-winded. He's brought here to be a situational pass rusher on a 1-year deal. We've been talking ad nauseum about the Terry McLaurin contract situation. We don't have to get into that right now, but what we did do is sign our 2nd-round pick. The union standing in solidarity, second-round picks who all decided to go unsigned until the week they had to report to training camp. All but 29 were left because Alfred Collins started the next movement and trending of second-round player signing when the 49ers got him done yesterday. Trenavian, whatever you want to call him, Trey was posting on Instagram yesterday outside of the Commanders facility. Apparently the conversations went well because he popped right back in the Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park today and completed his rookie deal. I have not seen the terms in them yet, but I imagine 3 or 4 years are going to be guaranteed based on what I saw from the Alfred Collins deal. Alfred Collins was the 43rd pick. He was 18 picks ahead of Trey Amos, but I believe the pick after Trey Amos was the next second-round pick to sign, and now Trey Amos is signed. When they get some details and some framework of the deal, I'll be back to talk about that on a later video as well, but love that all of our draft picks are signed, sealed, and delivered. They can all pull up to camp tomorrow, get their lockers ready, lay out their practice fits like it's the first day of school, and we can rock and motherfucking roll in a couple days and get ready for training camp. No issues with second-round pick Trey Amos. That's why those that were in the chat the other day, I told y'all that he's not holding out. This ain't no Trey Harris situation. We're going to get this done. Y'all need to let Adam Peters cook. Let him slow roast the chicken, marinate it, and get it ready to serve. He's going to get all of these things done. Contracts and deadlines. No, deadlines spur results. You know how we've been hearing all offseason about TJ Watt wanting out, Terry potentially wanting out because he doesn't feel wanted anymore. It's crazy how training camp shows up on the calendar and all of a sudden things get fixed. You know who got signed to the largest non-quarterback deal in the history of the game today? TJ Watt. TJ Watt gets 3 years, $123 million. That's $41 million a year. 108 guaranteed. No player has recorded more sacks over the last 5 seasons than Watt. 73.5 sacks over 5 years. Not to mention he's always dealing with some type of nagging injury or something. The Watt brothers might be the best siblings in the history of the league. Both phenomenal. Both finna be wearing gold jackets. Yeah, I know the Mannings exist and shit like that. But the Watt brothers, we're talking about 2 of the sack kings in NFL history. I never thought TJ Watt was going to be this nice. I thought he could be all right coming out of school, but I ain't gonna lie. I definitely slept and snoozed on the potential of TJ Watt. But Steelers got it done. They got it done. They are going to be a very expensive 9-8 football team with Vince Rodgers this year. But shout out and congratulations to TJ Watt. And this is good for guys like Terry McLaurin because as you get closer to training camp, shit gets done, guys. Shit gets done. Terry put the final press on the team, used his leverage as best he could. Adam Peters and company, get him in the building. Find the sweet spot. Y'all got a number. He got a number. Neither of those numbers are going to happen. Find the sweet spots in between, and let's get to it. And to close out this video, the second Washington Commander of the top 100 list was revealed today. It is our guy, Bobby Wagner. He finally got a guy on the defense older than him, so they can stop calling him 55 years old on the defense. I know Mikey and them be cooking him, calling him old man. Bobby Wagner, at his big age, you know, one of our AARP players, still comes in as the 74th best player, according to his peer, second team All-Pro, still getting over 100 tackles, and he's like 221 tackles away from being up there for the most tackles all time. So, absolute dog, still producing. Another 1-year deal. We need Jordan McGee and company ready to go in case he calls it his swan song season this year. It would be so fucking beautiful as a Washington fan to see Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, and Zach Ertz all go out in the Super Bowl, man. That would be so. That's that Disney story type shit, man. See, these are the type of realities and the type of hypotheticals and situations we can now prophesize here in Washington now that the team is actually moving how it needs to. But just a recap of the day. Bobby Wagner's number 74 in the top 100. Trey Amos was signed. And Von Miller is now a Washington Commander, and apparently and allegedly will be wearing number 24 for the Washington Commanders. Now it's time to get Terry done. We are in probably 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. It's time to punch that shit in the end zone. Get Terry his bread. Drop the video, the graphics, roll the red carpet out for him and his family, and let's get our Acorn Head King out there with the rest of them boys when the veterans report to camp next Wednesday. That's all I got for right now. If any more news comes out, I'll be sure to try to get a video out. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio is